Welcome back. In this video, we will implement the settings we have created in the previous video. So let's start directly with the background color. So I'm gonna copy this feature product BG. What I will do before to do anything, let's remove this Tailwind class, and I'm going to create an ID, and I'm gonna call it, let's say, featured product. And let's create just below here a CSS tag or a style tag, and we're going to target this featured product, and we're gonna look for this background color, and to access it, we're gonna use the section that settings, that's the name that we just copied, feature product BG. We can even go and create some settings for the color, but I'm not gonna do it here. I really want to go quickly as possible to finish this section. And what's next? If I save it, let's go double check if it's working. If I go back here and I refresh, if I go to feature product here and I try to change the color, it seems like it's working. Great. So let's go back and let's try now to implement the padding top and bottom. So the same process, I'm going to create here a padding. So for the top and the bottom, let's give it a section that settings that feature product that padding top, this one. Let's add pixel here and let's give it 0 for the right and the left. Let's add a pixel and let's save it and let's see if it's working. So let's come here, and if I try to go let it to 80, and it seems like it's picking. So we have the padding on top and the padding on bottom. It's set, so let's leave it to 70 and I'm going to save it. Perfect. So let's also revert the color to something like close to white, something like this, or to gray. So let's save it as well. And now let's work on the title. So first of all, let's correct this one. Let's remove this S because we have only one title. So let's come back to this sidebar settings, remove the S here, and let's copy the ID because we're gonna need it. Let's save it and let's find this title is over here. So let's remove this what we have here, this text is personalized for you, and let's create a condition. So we're gonna say if section that settings that feature product text, if it exists, then we want to display the text. So it's going to be settings feature product text. Okay, so in this case, I don't really want to use else because we're using a default for this type here. So even though it is empty, it's going to display the default text. So let's save it and let's go back here. And if I refresh, we're gonna see the default collection. It's the name we gave on the default settings here. If you go double check, there you go, it's over here. And we can go to the text here and to change something like, let's say, new text. And it's going to be affecting the change directly. We can even, if you want to add a settings to change the text default, let's try it if you want to, just for practice. So let's say here, I'm gonna create some quick setting, for the sidebar, and we're gonna call it text transform, and I'm just gonna cut this one and I'm gonna set it here. We're gonna use a type of select because we want to be able to select, and this one we're gonna give it the ID of feature product transform. The label is going to be text transform or title transform. All right, so let's remove this default for now. So the select takes what? So it takes a group or options, I believe. Yeah, options. And inside we can have a couple of objects here. So the first is going to be the label, so let's call it normal. And here either we can use a Tailwind class or we can use a CSS class. I think I will go with the Tailwind. So we're gonna leave this one to, I can leave it even empty actually. The next one, it could be, we're gonna have the label. We're gonna call it uppercase, and the Tailwind class for this one could be uppercase as well. And we can also add another one just to show you. And the label could be capitalized, and the value going to be also capitalized. All right, so and then we need to add, after the array, we need to add the default, which should be one of the option values. So let's go with empty for now. So it's going to be like normal. So if we save it, we go check our code, and then we have the text settings here. So if we choose, we have uppercase or capitalized. All right. So now let's implement this so we can change the text transform. So I'm just gonna copy the ID, come back on top. And we're going to look, because I want to use the Tailwind CSS. So we're gonna come over here to create the curlies. We're gonna say if, and let's close the if so we don't make any mistake. So we're gonna say if section that settings that feature product transform, if it exists, then we want to display the section that settings that the text transform. And if I save it, let's see if it's gonna work. So if I come here, it is set to normal as a default. If I come and I change it to uppercase, there you go, we have it now uppercase. So now let's work on the most important part, which is displaying the product. So on the previous video, we created the collection list, and after thinking about it, I think I'm going to change it to another type. So again, we have the product and product list, and as I want to display in this case list of products, so I'm going to go with product list. If you just want to show one product, then you're going to use the product attribute. So I want to use the product list, so I will select it, and I think the product list also can accept a limit, so let's leave it to 10 for now, and let's save it. Let's see if we have some error. It seems like we are good, and now let's go check if we have some issue here. It seems like no. Okay, maybe just let me change the names of the labels here. Let's call it, let's say select your product. Okay, and then here we can say pick product. All right, so we are good. So now let's try to work on the logic. So first of all, I'm going to copy the ID here, and I'm gonna go on the top. So once I'm in the top, first of all, let's correct this for loop we made here, because as you can see, Liquid is expecting to have like this variable here, and as for now we don't have it, so we can leave this here to be just empty strings like this. So we don't need to have some empty variable here. So inside the Liquid, these variable are expected, so it's going to be applied there as empty. And if we go check our code, we still have the placeholder product here. So we're good. Let's go back and let's write an if statement. So this if statement is going to check if the product here is selected or not. So if it's not selected, then we want to showcase the product placeholder. So we're gonna write a condition. So it's going to be section that settings that the product collection ID. So if it is not blank, if it's not empty, or if it is selected, then we're gonna show the correct product. But if it's not selected, then we need to use the else and now populate the placeholder product. So if I save it, so far we're gonna have the same design because we did not select the product yet. So now let's go and select it to see what's gonna happen. And if I click here, you see that we don't have any product here, even though we did create a product in the previous video. And this is because when you create products, you need to make sure that you are publishing your product like everywhere. So you come to your product, you look for this publishing, you click on manage, and make sure that you select everything, or at least online store and shop, and click on include. You click on done, you click on save, and if you go now to your Shopify customizer, you refresh, and when you click on select, now you're gonna have at least one product appearing here. I'm going to add the rest of the product here, and I'm gonna see you in the future. All right, so I finished to do the same for our product. So if I go back to our feature product here and I click on select, and we're gonna have a bunch of product here. So we can select what we want. So let me select a couple of that. And remember, we have set this to be limited to 10 per our code, just like you can see here on the bottom. We make it to be 10. We can remove this limit if you want to make it to 50, up to us, but let's leave it to 10 for now, and let's select what we can select and until 10. And as you can see, it's blocking me to continue to add more. So I will click on select and I will click on save. So now let's see how we can display this product to appear on our front page. So I'm gonna come back on top and I will look here. So we have this code here is true. So now let's try to display it. Let's go section that settings that feature product collection. If I save it and I go double check, it's gonna give me product list drop. So every time you see something with drop at the end, it means that we need to loop that collection. What we need to do is to loop now this part. So I'm gonna do a for loop, and this for loop is going to be against the section settings feature product collection, and I'm gonna give it a name here. Let's say the product, something like this, and let me try to display the product here, and I want to access at least the title. And if I save it, now we're gonna have the title displayed here. It's looking longer because we just imported everything from DSers, so that's why it's looking like this, but we are already in a good shape, so we can now populate everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna copy this render and I'm gonna place it inside the for loop, and we're going to replace now everything to look dynamic. So first of all, we have the title card, which I believe is the title of the product. So let's give it the correct data. If you want, we can go and create a variable for that, maybe what I'm going to do, or we can just directly access the product here. But you know what, let's make it like this. So I'm gonna create a variable. So I'm gonna call it, let's say, title card, and the value is going to be the product dot title. And now I can just copy this variable and place it here. It's already up to you. I'm just showing you what is your option when you're doing this. And when I come here, we have already the product appearing, okay, and the text is here because it's too long. It's doing all this mess here. We're going to fix it, so don't worry about it. Okay, so let's create another variable. We're gonna call it, let's say, description card. So let me copy the name here just to create some variable like this, and it's going to be here product dot description, and we can just copy this one like this and add it here as a variable name. And if I save it, we're going to have some description here. It looks longer. Yes, you know what, maybe we're gonna avoid to make this now because we have these products come with a bunch of description there, and we don't really need to display it now, but you get the point. Okay, you get the idea. And here we can create like another variable. We're gonna call it price card, and it's going to be product description dot price. We need to add here, and if you save it, now we're gonna have the correct price appearing. Now next we need to add the image card. So how to add the image card? We just need to pass the variable. So I'm gonna create another variable here, and I'm gonna call it image card, and it's going to be product. Now we have plenty images here, so it could be either feature image, and we have also images here. I think this images is an array, and which means we need to loop it. So I think we're gonna go with the featured image. Yeah, so and then we just need to reference the variable like this over here, and I think we should be good to go. And there you go. So we have the images appearing like dynamically, and let's make the title to be like shorter. So later on I'm gonna go, or you have to go to the product to to write some nice title, and but for now I'm going to use a filter inside this title card. So I'm gonna add a pipe here, and I'm gonna use the truncate, and then we need to add a number. So let's say 10, and let's see how does it look. There you go. Okay, so now it looks like much cleaner. So I'm gonna leave it like this. So I'm gonna stop right here, and I see you on the next one. Bye.